And welcome back to the Coach Bryan Moore Show. And as we mentioned, we're visiting now with our offensive coordinator, Coach J.D. Atkins, who comes to us and has been associated with Coach Moore for several years. First of all, as a football player at Opelika High School when Coach Moore was an assistant there first, and then you officially joined his staff when Coach Moore was at Hartselle High School, and then when he was named head coach at Opelika, you made that transition over to Opelika High School.
Yes, sir.
Correct on that, and then now to Foley, Alabama. So it's been some great movement for you, offensive coordinator of the year among your many honors. Great experience, and great to have you here in Foley, Alabama, Coach.
Appreciate it. Yes, sir. Yeah, I met Coach Moore when I was probably 13, 14 years old. He was actually our ninth grade head coach at the time, and then I believe moved up to varsity when we moved up to varsity, and ended up being our offensive coordinator my senior year, and have kept in touch ever since.
And so you and your family, you and your family will be down here, and several of our coaches who are coming in from other areas are sort of in that mode because you have a wife and kids, right?
Yes, sir.
Talk about your family.
Yes, sir. So I've got a wife, Kathleen Atkins. She's a school teacher as well.
Nice.
And then I've got 3 kids, 2 boys, Joe and Asa, and then a little girl, Maisie James. They're all finishing school up in Opelika right now, and so when the semester is over, they'll move down with my wife, and we'll all be in Foley.
Well, I know everybody's been really busy, as we've talked about over these past several weeks, couple of months, I guess the last 3 months, and same for you, obviously, building the offensive components of your team and putting all those things together that are so important. So thank you to your family, who deserves thanks. I know that your wife has been holding down the fort at home, and you'll get everybody in here at the end of the school year, I guess.
Yes, sir. By end of May, they'll come down here. But yeah, you're 100% right. She is the real MVP here. So
well, let's talk about the work that's going on inside the walls of the field house,
Yes,
inside
sir.
the halls of Foley High School, out on the football field. And I want to make a comment. I've had the pleasure of watching some of the 2-hour practice sessions that you guys have been holding, and really love the pace of practice. It's got a college feel out there. There's a lot of energy. Kids are getting a lot out of it. You can tell that. But from the offensive perspective, talk about a little bit about your philosophy. Things that you like to do without giving away too much.
Yeah.
But let's talk about really what you've been focusing on, I guess, with this team and what you're hoping to accomplish in this period that you've been in, but also as we get into spring practice, official spring practice.
Yeah. So the main things so far have been really getting in and taking inventory as far as who we have from a player standpoint. What are their skill sets? What are things that they do well? And then as we evaluate that, it's about using the scheme and the structure that we have to put them in the right positions to be successful. So we've been using these 2-hour practices to really get a feel for who they are, lay the kind of the base groundwork as far as language and verbiage and the system and how we operate really more than anything. So how do you meet, and how do you practice, and how do you get to a meeting and transition between drills, and how do we dress and how do we line up and those things. So it's been all about operation, and then kind of like you said, expectation of pace, how we move, the urgency with which we operate, and so that's kind of been the main thing for us so far. And then as we go, especially as spring comes, kind of like Coach Moore hit on earlier, it's going to be about finding out, who will go put their face on somebody, and who's willing to be physical and who can physically get it done. But from a right now standpoint, it's all about operation and expectation.
Is there anybody that you can share with us, any names you can share with us, those that are standing out to you in these early practices, and really who you're identifying as guys that you're going to be counting on come fall?
Yeah, we've had several guys so far that I've been pleasantly surprised with that have kind of stood out. Obviously, there's some household names here already that a lot of people know about, but maybe some of the guys that aren't as well known right now. I think about JW as one of them. JW's playing guard for us and has been so physical and just plays with such a high motor. But he's also very intellectual, very good leader. He stood out for sure.
John William McClellan, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then Jason Leck as well is a guy that's kind of been a tweener here in the past, played a little bit of tight end, fullback, a little bit of offensive tackle. Been really impressed with his physicality and his ability to retain information. He's been really good so far. Obviously, you have the highlight guys, Jackson Dixon, Cameron Page, some of the big name receivers as well, but there's other guys as well in that group that have stood out. I mean, Braden Garcia, Javius Knight, to just to name a few. There's plenty more. And then our running back group, it's a really deep group. At the top, you've got Bryson Garcia and Zy Green, and I'm sure I'm gonna miss somebody, Dominic Marshall, and those guys. But then you've got some other backs, some younger guys that are pushing for time as well. But just really impressed kind of with the whole group right now. I think they're really hungry. I think they're really excited about the newness. It'll be interesting to see as we push into spring and some of that newness wears away, who stays and continues to push at that same level of urgency that we have right now.
Well, Coach, before we wrap up this segment, just want to say how excited I am to have you here, your family here, looking forward to this getting into spring and seeing how you guys shape up or lining up and I know you guys are really looking forward to that, right?
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. We're very, very fired up to get out there and test ourselves physically, but also test ourselves against another opponent. So,
is there anything you want to leave the families with as you head into that week of spring break? Is there something that I know you guys are probably want to get that focus on getting ready for these upcoming practices that we're going to get. Spring breaks, obviously, you want to have a little family fun, have some time, and that kind of thing. But I know you want everybody to be ready when you come back.
Yeah, obviously, great kind of timing right now. We've gone really hard for like 7 weeks straight, and great opportunity for them to break and go be kids and have fun and enjoy a week, doing their things and get their bodies and their minds back right, kind of get a mental reset as we go into spring. So.
Well, Coach, great to visit with you. We appreciate the update and look forward to many more in the future.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Coach J.D. Atkins. Okay. And we'll be right back with Coach Carson Hunter right after this.